what are your favorite Sonic games? Like your top 5 Sonic games? You know how many times you guys have asked me that? And I appreciate that, by the way. Thanks for asking. But it's time to put this to rest once and for all. The ultimate Sonic tier list. Oh shit, I forgot my hat.
Hold on.
So you guys know this has never been done on YouTube before, right? Like ever. So we got to do a proper Sonic tier list, all right? For YouTube's sake, you know what I'm saying? So this is going to be the definitive, ultimate, super, mega, ultra Sonic tier list. All right, let's get to work.
I'm TheMentok, by the way, the prophet, YouTube savior. Go and look me up. Go subscribe to my Twitter account, my Instagram account, and my Discord. Go ahead and do all that. Because y'all ain't doing it. You guys are watching, but you ain't doing it. So go do that.
Please. And give this video a like while you're at it. All right, let me move on. So since this has never been done on YouTube before, I'm going to get into this, each and every game on this list, and put them somewhere on this tier list. So you guys will know at that point in time what my favorites are, right? Right. Okay. So we'll never have to ask this question again in streams. Don't worry, you guys can ask me whatever you want in stream. The first one, we're starting with Sonic Advance. Now, if you guys are a little too young for the Game Boy Advance, these are some of the games that we got a little bit after Sonic Adventure 2. You know, so there were no more Sega devices being released. So Sonic Advance is kind of a breakthrough. It's the first game on a Nintendo system. And if you haven't seen that part of my timeline, go ahead and check it out, bro. I think I'm gonna slap that as a solid A rank, because this kind of like opened the door to some beautiful sprite work across the board on the Game Boy Advance, and some gorgeous flash animations from Newgrounds back in the day. Everyone loved using Sonic Advance sprites for fights. Now followed up here, we have Sonic Jam. No, not the one you put on your toast. Oh. This is a game that was released for Sega Saturn, and it was basically a collection of the previous Sonic games on the Genesis and Mega Drive, etc., etc. You have the collection on there, as well as some extra goodies, and it's the first time I think that we see a 3D Sonic model. So there's like a little place where you can walk around as a 3D Sonic model, which looked pretty cool because you can see like classic Sonic in its 3D glory at the time. I'm gonna go ahead and put that at a B because we didn't get the actual Sonic Extreme. We didn't get the full Sonic game that we were looking for the Sega Saturn, but hey, we got Sonic Adventure out of that, right? Sonic Lost World. This, I actually had the pleasure of playing on stream a few days ago. I will give this... This one's tricky. I'm gonna give it a B because I feel like people are sleeping on this one. I think that people are so focused on the boost formula that whatever they were going for here, it's like a parkour system. You're jumping off walls, you're looking like Mirror's Edge basically in third person, right? So Sonic can do all of that and more. It's just kind of hard to get a handle of the mechanics, but when you do it right, it looks great. It looks cool. It looks fun. The music is pretty decent. The plot line was okay. I know a lot of people have issues with the Sinister Six. That's not their names, by the way. It's the Deadly Six. I already confused them with Spider-Man, so hey, that's why it's probably going one step lower. I'm gonna give it C. Weak villains, but it's not a D because we actually got a decent type of gameplay out of it, and it looks gorgeous considering the time frame where it was released. If you download this now, it actually looks pretty good. And I brought it down because of a couple of other things like the plot. Some of the best Eggman moments in this particular game. So hey, it's a solid C. I was gonna give it a B, but I couldn't finish it. You know, so the mechanics didn't really speak to me too much, so it's a C. Sonic Mania is definitely S-class. The music, the graphics, this is a no-brainer, right? Amongst all Sonic fans. I mean, I know some people would put it at an A, and if you're not like part of the whole 3D classic vibe, a lot of people put that into an A position, but definitely an S for me because I was super excited for it. The price point, the music, the length of it, Sonic Mania Plus coming out with 2 extra characters, the promotion, everything in this was like a perfect little gift to classic Sonic fans. So definitely throwing it up there. Bro, Sonic CD was like iconic though. Iconic because we got Metal Sonic out of it. I'm gonna put it at B, and I'll tell you why. In comparison to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which we'll get to in a second, Sonic CD has this weird level design where you travel through 3 different time periods per level. You can be in the past, present, or the future. But to get Sonic into the past or the future, you need to pass a signpost and then go like a certain set of miles per hour to get into that area. Just that mechanic alone, to get like a perfect ending, you have to go back in time, save the past from Robotnik or Eggman at the time, destroy his machines in the past, and then come back and collect the Chaos Emeralds as well, or the Time Stones, I should say. They're the Time Stones that you're collecting. I think both of those mechanics, while they had a lot of potential, it's kind of a bitch to handle all of that. So that's why I'm putting it at a B. The music still holds up to this day, one of the most stellar Sonic soundtracks out there. So I'm gonna go with that. Sonic CD, and we got Amy Rose and Metal Sonic being introduced in this game. There's a lot of stuff in there. This game has a lot of clout, and you can get the definitive version of this on a lot of platforms these days, the full HD version. All right, so we got everybody's bottom of the barrel here. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Bruh, I'm gonna put a bomb-ass move right here. I'm gonna pull a boss move for you guys. I'm gonna put a little bit of spice on you guys. I'm gonna put some controversy into the Sonic community, all right? You guys think it's gonna be a D? No, I'm gonna bump it up to C.
I've never felt power like this before.
And I'll tell you why, okay? So, Sonic 06 actually came out during a time where everybody was looking for new next-gen games. Sonic the Hedgehog 06 was one of the very first sets of next-gen games coming out for the PS3 and Xbox 360 at the time, right? I got the PS3 version, which arguably is worse, I think, I've heard, I don't know. But it came out a little bit later than the 360 version, and this thing was a whole mess, right? But when I actually played it, I will tell you, I ran into a minimal amount of bugs. I played this game the most optimal way possible. I don't know how I did it, because later on, everybody jumped on the YouTube bandwagon of saying this is the worst game that's ever been made. I think that's such a hyperbole, because the game actually has something to offer. Shout out to the guy making Project 06 right now, where he's trying to salvage this game from what it was to make it into what it can be. You know, I think that the potential alone in this game, I gotta give it a C. Especially because I'm still bumping its soundtrack to this day, and I think that they were trying to get like a very good substantial plot there, but they just dropped the ball on it. Also, points for Shadow the Hedgehog's character development in this game as well, and a pretty decent villain in Mephiles the Dark. Come on, we cannot discredit this game for everything. Except the gameplay, it is a video game, so I gotta give it a C for that reason. Points down for that. Now, am I saying it's on par with Sonic Lost World? No, but I think both of them fail for certain reasons, but they also have things to bring to the table that are unforgettable. And honestly, the amount of YouTube content that this has provided for so many people out there, Sonic 06 deserves the C. Don't at me, leave your gripes in the comments, okay? Your boy is killing it right now, killing it. So here's Sonic Forces, and I'm gonna do something also controversial. I'm gonna give it a B. Why am I rating this game higher than Sonic Lost World? Well, the plot was absolute ass, but I can say for without a doubt that I absolutely love the soundtrack, especially with the custom character. The custom character's whole soundtrack pretty much bops. It's a bop. That's how I wake myself up in the morning. I gotta give some points for that. Also, the character creator is actually pretty good. I spent some time on it. I didn't know what character I wanted. I didn't know what animal I actually wanted. I went between wolf and bear and all this other stuff. I finally went with the wolf because the wolf, I think, had the best design out of all of them. There was a hedgehog in there, but it looked like a mutant hedgehog. Considering what Sonic and Shadow look like, nah, I didn't want any part of that. So I went with the wolf, and you have like a lot of customizable items that you can add, like even collaborations with Persona and things like that, which I think is great. And the level design was okay. There were parts where it was ass, like total trash. Like you would boost and you get to the end in like 2 seconds. But there was also very beautiful level segments in these games that stood out from the rest of it, especially with Sonic's levels. I think Sonic had the better levels, even though actually the Avatar had some pretty damn good levels too, considering all the customizability with him or her, depending on what you pick. Levels were ass, and every time I pulled up to a classic level, I wanted to just skip it. But aside from that, the levels were okay. They range from good to bad, but mostly being mediocre to okay. But I gotta give it a B for the music. Some of the levels are good. The Infinite, I think, is a pretty dope boss overall. I think that they did him dirty at the end of the game, which is also what sucks, but I think he was a pretty dope villain to have around. Someone that was a little bit more brooding than Eggman. And then Eggman took his place at the end as the ultimate bad guy. I have to give props for that. So Sonic Forces gets a B in my book. I know, controversy. When are you gonna put a D class on this, bruv? You sound like a fanboy, Mentok. The Sonic fandom is the worst. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. I'm gonna give that a solid C as well, and there's a reason for that because I adore the Sonic Riders series. I think that the aesthetic is very nice, and the cutscenes in Sonic Riders Zero Gravity are gorgeous for the Wii. This game I bought for the Nintendo Wii, so this is the version that I played. I don't know if there was a version outside of that. So I found this game to be less responsive than the original, but the music was great, the main theme slaps, and the visuals look amazing. The choruses, of course, are on point, and just Sonic using gravity in a racing spectrum, I like that. I like that idea, and I wish that they dabbled more in Sonic Riders and made smarter decisions with it, because I think it could have rivaled Mario Kart if done correctly, but we didn't have enough successful titles for that, so I gotta put that one at a C. It's mostly forgettable in my opinion. The plot, I have no idea what happened in the plot. Totally forgot. They had some gravity warping bracelet, I think it was, but I don't know. I remember the original Riders a lot better than Zero Gravity, but I did enjoy it. But it's a C in my book. Sonic Unleashed. I'm gonna give Sonic Unleashed an A. I'm seeing a lot more love for Sonic Unleashed pop up around the internet. Like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know. I remember when it came out, people were like, oh, this game is trash. And honestly, I spent a lot of my college days playing the PS3 version. Now, the PS3 had this nice little function where you could easily upload your own music to the hard drive and play it over certain games. Sonic Unleashed was one of those. You can still do that on a PlayStation to this day, but it's a little bit weirder now. Like, you have to use Spotify or like some type of USB drive to get the music in, and it has to play off the actual USB drive. I don't know, it's been more and more protective these days. Sonic Unleashed is one of those games I could put my own music over, and I used to rerun the day stages all the time because the level design was absolutely amazing. I know everybody still talks about the day stages. Oh, it's so great. Now we gotta talk, the reason it gets an A for me though, the visuals are amazing. I think that's one of the best set of visuals that Sonic has ever seen before. The original cutscene at the very beginning, the intro where he's just landing on Eggman's fortress and just tearing it apart, absolutely amazing. Those things, they get A's in my book, so I gotta throw it up there for an A. Just the choice, the whole story, everything just kind of, it's a touching story, and it's a story about friendship, but takes things back to basics, and really has that 3D rendition of what a classic style of Sonic. It reminds me a lot of like the Sonic Rush series, but just enhanced for a next gen console. So I'm glad that we came out with that, but we got to talk about the bad side too, which is the Werehog stages. It's not that they're horrible. It's just it's a beat 'em up that lasts very long. The night stages last for a very long time, and I think that we all know about these critiques, but the Werehog just lasts a little bit too long, and you end up fighting a lot of bosses with it, and it's not as satisfying as running around with Sonic during the day. Like, every time that you transform back, it's always super refreshing, and that's not an exaggeration. But I've only played the PS3 version, have not played the Wii version, so my opinion is based strictly on that. I heard that the Wii kind of shirked all of that pretty nastily. So, but Sonic Unleashed, definitely an A. Can't wait to replay it. Can't wait for them to remaster it. Sonic Advance 2, I'm also going to give that an A. Basically enhanced everything that was going for Sonic Advance, and they added more mechanics to it. They added a trick system to it. They added a bunch of other things to enhance the gameplay, and it required like a lot of running. It was much more high speed than the original, and I kind of like that. There's some people who didn't enjoy that, but I think that they got their footing here, and this is Dimps that made it. Sprite work is amazing too. They enhanced the sprites to look even better, and you have the introduction of Cream the Rabbit. Has to be an A in my book. So here's where I'm going to lose some people. I'm going to give Shadow the Hedgehog a D.
Damn you!
This is one of my least favorite Sonic games ever. Shadow came out, and I was very excited. I was an edgy teenager when this came out, and I'm like, you know what? Shadow with a gun, this sounds crazy, but it just might work, goddammit. I'm ready, right? And then I started playing, and everybody's like, damn! Even Sonic's like, damn, we were too slow. I'm like, now this is gaming, you know? That was me for a little that was me for a little bit, but Shadow the Hedgehog is not good. Shadow is way too slippery. You have way too many objectives that you have to fulfill in game to actually get to the true ending. I think that's one of the only games that I've never unlocked a true ending in for the Sonic franchise. And that means something because I would normally just grind at it no matter how bad the game was just to get the true ending and see like super whoever at the end of it, right? This misled me. I was very upset. And then especially like if you had to kill or 10, 15 enemies in a certain stage to go a certain route, they would like hide the enemies somewhere, tuck them under some type of rock, and you have to like destroy the rock to find them. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I didn't like the objective-based stuff. I didn't think it was done properly. Shadow's mechanics were very slippery and complete ass sometimes. The weapons were very garbage. I think some of them were like, only a few of them were viable. It was just best to use Shadow's homing attack the whole time. And then I hated the villain. Black Doom, I couldn't stand. And just the conflict just felt so like out of nowhere. And then they rewrote Shadow's history a little bit. I don't have much respect for this game. But if you want to know more about the plot and my opinions on it, or me just laying it out on this whole timeline that I have, go check out Sonic Timeline Part 3 on the channel. Alrighty? Next is Sonic Jump. I actually had the pleasure of playing this. I'm gonna give this a B. This was one of the first mobile Sonic games. So if you had like a cell phone growing up, I don't know if they enhanced this and they put it on smartphones, but there was a game called Sonic Jump where you're hopping from platform to platform. You would see a lot of this with like, I think it's Doodle Jump. It's very similar to Doodle Jump, but with Sonic, and there's enemies that you can like hit on your way up and stuff like that. And you have the little loops that you can go through to go higher, and springs that will help you jump up even more platforms. I think it was a pretty solid, for a mobile game at the time, like mobile games weren't supposed to be what they are now. Like it was just supposed to be a little time waster. And I think that accomplished just that, and it had the Sonic aesthetic. I couldn't complain. So Sonic Jump gets a B for me. Sonic Rush, I'm going to give this game an S. Sonic Rush is one of my favorite games. It honestly took the Sonic Advance formula, made it even faster, added the badass Blaze the Cat, with some pretty decent boss battles in there, and then we had a badass soundtrack from our boy Hideki Naganuma, who I hadn't seen since Jet Set Radio, you know what I mean? So just hearing like his style, it fits Sonic so perfectly, and to this day I'll listen to some of these tracks because the samples are just out of this world. If you haven't heard that soundtrack, do yourself a favor and go check it out. Sonic Rush is amazing. I want to see them actually remaster these in some form or fashion. That would be a nice thing to have, like a Sonic Advance plus Rush collection with like, you know, remastered sprites and all that. But since it's for the DS, I doubt we're gonna get that. It's just so hard to port DS games. I think a lot of Lost Gold is there in the DS library and 3DS library because of the dual screens, unfortunately. And hope to see more Blaze in the future too. Sonic Riders. I'm gonna give Sonic Riders a B. I think that this is the best one in the series. There's 3 Sonic Riders games. I think the last one will show its ugly head sooner or later. But Sonic Riders is actually a very solid racing game. If you really understand the mechanics and know how things work, I think that there was a lot of concepts that were pretty damn good that were implemented in Sonic Riders. Now let me tell you about the PS2 version, and I know like the last couple of levels I was like boring blisters into my hand by rotating the joystick. If you have games that do that, you know that you're having a grand ass time, you know what I'm saying? It was very frustrating, but once you understand how the air mechanics and turbulence work with your board, and you know the type of character that you're using, whether it's power, speed, or fly, I think all of those mechanics just baked into a racing game, plus the characters behind Sonic, plus new villains in the Babylon Rogues, who were very decent at the time, and like some personality traits of Sonic coming out where he actually genuinely gets pissed and his pride, just like his ego, is totally trampled on by some bird that just appears out of nowhere. Amazing. And the visuals, amazing. Like the Sonic Riders series has like this weird aesthetic. It's like futuristic for some reason, and it takes place where there's just no conflict whatsoever. It's just Eggman planning tournaments and stuff, and then they have like little sunglasses and all this gear. I don't know, there was a lot of swag to Sonic Riders, and I hope that they decide to pick that up again at some point. Just do it right. Do it right. I'm gonna say that this is my favorite Sonic Riders. It gets a B. Sonic and the Secret Rings. You know what? There was a time where I would have given this a B, but I'm gonna give Sonic and the Secret Rings a C. The reasons for that: it has this weird system where the more you play, the better the game gets, and that's not good. That's not the type of level progression that people need to experience. Yeah, it's great to have Sonic have upgrades and things that will make his gameplay a little bit better, but to have to grind through the game like you're just super slow at the beginning, and the controls are just completely terrible. Like I remember you have to hold the Wii remote sideways and you're literally tilting it to drive Sonic. Sonic does not have that kind of movement. Sonic doesn't move like a car. You have to program him differently. And that's why I was cool with him being in a car for a Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Sonic and the Secret Rings shows exactly why that's not good. Not to say that the Wii Remote had good motion controls in general. They were trying to push a lot of things back in that time. But Sonic and the Secret Rings, to like drive Sonic around at slow speeds and have to brake, and you can't go backwards. You can move backwards a little bit, but you have to tilt it back, and he doesn't turn around. Later on, as you start to progress, you can give upgrades to Sonic to make him play a lot better. And when you have that optimal skill set, the game isn't that bad, but I have to give it a C for that reason. Like, it shouldn't take that long to be good. Now, Sonic and the Secret Rings does have this crazy multiplayer Mario Party segment that is worth your time. If you have this game, that's probably what you're going to be doing after the fact. Like, once I beat the game, I would just bring that over to my friend's place and we would play that party game, because then you had like the little Wii remote used to play party games the right way, you know? So those games were fun. Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood. Yo, I know that there's some people out there that love this game, but it gets a D, bruh. It's a D for me. I remember when this was being displayed at E3 and all those places, I think it got like RPG of the show and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I'm so excited. BioWare is making a Sonic Chronicles game, and they're making an RPG where we're gonna get an in-depth story and more character development, but the characters didn't feel like the characters. But all your favorite characters are in this game, and you get some plot development for them. Even Big the Cat's in this game as a playable character. But the battles are just way too difficult. All of your attacks are probably gonna miss. I remember struggling so bad with just normal battles. The more regular battles that you fought, the more tedious and tiresome it got, because you had to use the little stylus to move the joystick along the screen to like make sure that you had the optimal hit. And if you're not doing it perfectly each time, you're in for a bad ride. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, for me, it wasn't there, and the story wasn't worth going through. If you've never heard the Sonic Chronicles soundtrack, do yourself a favor and go listen to that. It's the opposite of Sonic Rush. It is literal ear assault. And I'm kind of disappointed in BioWare for delivering that, but maybe that was like their first step on like a downhill fall. Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood definitely gets a D from me. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. I know there's some fans out there for that game. What is this? This is Sonic Dash 2, right? I'm gonna give the Sonic Dash games an A. Basically, for what they're trying to achieve, they basically got it. I think that's one of the most successful Sonic games of all time, believe it or not. So you can still download this on your smartphone. Sonic Dash 2, though, has a Sonic Boom skin. So the Sonic Boom characters are what you're going to be getting instead of like the regular Sonic. But it works exactly the same as the original. You're there swiping to dodge obstacles and seeing how long you can last. Essentially Temple Run. But this has a lot more longevity than Temple Run did. So Hardlight, I think, is the name of the developer company. Talented people. They're still doing updates for this game. So shout out to them. It deserves an A. And the fact that it did so well, that's why I'm giving it to them. Sonic Boom and the Rise of Lyric. I have to give this a D. I put this below Sonic 06. And it's for this reason. When this game came out, I was just totally non-receptive to the idea of changing Sonic's design and starting over fresh. I feel like they did Lost World and then they went straight to Sonic Boom, and that gave me no hope. I'm just like, yo, what is going on with this series? There's no direction here. So we got a great TV show out of that. I love the TV show. We're not ranking TV shows though, we're ranking the games. And even though that this game has good animation, the game is lifeless. And there's reasons behind that. Big Red Button worked on it, but they were rushed by Sega to get through. And if you read up on that story a little bit more, you'll find out that, you know, this is mostly Sega's fault and not those developers' fault. So no hatred toward the developers, because I know that they had a lot more in mind for this game, because I see the concepts there. you know, like the electric vines and all the different move sets for each character and stuff like that. But outside of that, you know, the plot's very lackluster. I didn't like the whole reboot, and the redesigns grew on me after a while of the characters, but the whole area is just lifeless, and I just couldn't get involved in that world. I think it is more geared toward kids as well. At the time, not to say that Sonic's not geared towards children, but I think this was more so for younger children. You know, so for me, it's definitely a D, and the music, completely forgettable. So that's why I put Sonic 06 over Sonic Boom, for instance. Sonic 06 was a mess, but there was some charm to it, right? Sonic Boom doesn't really have that. It's just really nicely animated characters in an empty, lifeless world with a very forgettable villain. I hope that guy never comes back. RIP to the Sonic Boom series. It was worth a shot, but it gets a D for me. Sonic and Knuckles, I'm going to put that as an A. Sonic and Knuckles, you can't really talk about this without Sonic 3, right? So I may as well pull Sonic 3 out of here and stick it next to Sonic Knuckles as an A. Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a package is pretty much the epitome of the Genesis classics, right? For me, it's not my favorite Genesis classic. We'll get to that. But the music is amazing. Of course, this is like the series with music from Michael Jackson, which Sega still denounces to this day, and Michael Jackson's estate doesn't want to talk about it. I don't know what happened in that studio. I feel like there was a fight. Because nobody wants to talk about it, so it's so weird, and like even it's affecting all the ports for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Sonic Origins, if they're going to take out those musical tracks when they release that collection. But that aside, I think that you're going to get some of the best level design in the Sonic series in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Some of the best character interactions between Sonic, Knuckles, and Eggman and Tails just wrapped together in this perfectly nice little bubble. I think that the games have like slow points though. For example, I forget the name, something Garden. I think it's Marble Garden, I think it is. But I absolutely adore it as a package, so it gets an A. And I think the music is bomb, and we get the introduction of Knuckles as a character. It's great, so it's an A. Sonic 4. Sonic 4, I'm going to give... Did they split these up? Depends. Sonic 4, okay. Sonic 4 is the whole package. I will give that a C. Now, a lot of people trash Sonic 4 because they felt it was uninspired, and this is not what the fourth version of the Genesis Classic should look like, and oh, there's so much hype behind this, but it was total ass. And I feel like, once again, this is one of those examples of the YouTube hive mind and Twitter hive mind coming together to incept your idea about this game. When it came out, I will not say that this was the best Sonic game I ever played, but it was entertaining. Now, my one huge gripe with it is the music. Very uninspired at times, but there's a couple of bangers in here that I forgive it for. But overall, a lot of it's not memorable. A lot of it's rehashing from the original Genesis levels. This was supposed to be episodic, and I think it was supposed to go past episode 2, but they didn't think it was worth their time after episode 2 since the lukewarm reception, right? But I think there's a few decent boss battles in here. I think there could have been better music and better level design, but being able to play as Metal Sonic for a little bit and just having an overall, you know, back to basics Genesis style experience, it's not bad, you know? So sometimes I'll go back to this and try it out, especially episode 2. They improved it quite a bit. But the first episode, yeah, it becomes a drag. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I'm going to give this an A. So when this game came out, I remember racing with my friends in college through the Final Fortress level from Sonic Heroes. Having that song versus like a much longer track, and it's like emphasis on taking those corners perfectly, I preferred this to Mario Kart at the time. And the reasons why were because the weapons felt a lot more fair. Mario Kart, you get random stuff. You know, I'm not saying that you can't get out of a blue shell because there's reasons for that, right? Mario Kart does take skill, but I think that this focused more on the racing vibe. That's why I prefer this to Mario Kart, because it actually had those concepts going for him, and it was a well-designed racer with co-op experiences and a bunch of, you know, characters that I haven't seen in the Sega world for a very long time, like Vice from Skies of Arcadia. Come on, bro. Let's go, man. That's the type of stuff I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see those characters again. For Sonic the Hedgehog, I want to give a B. That's my least favorite in the Sonic classics. And I can't be too hard on it because it's the one that started it all, right? But this game was super ambitious and it did what it needed to do. It opened the door for all of these other games. I have to give it a B because once you pass Green Hill Zone and you get to Marble Zone slows things down considerably. And that is the turning point for me. I think Stardust Zone is another iconic one, and the final boss is also super iconic with Eggman, but it just feels kind of lifeless now too, going back to it. You can see what they were trying to achieve, but man, it's just night and day with this and Sonic 2 and even Sonic 3, you know, but that's the point, right? You're supposed to improve on it. So I'm not here to bash this game whatsoever. Music is great and it's the one that opened the door for everything else. So I got to give it a B. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. You know what? I'm going to throw this up here in the S class. And the reason for that is it did everything from Sega All-Stars Racing and transformed it. No pun intended.
Man, shut your bitch.
Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed is amazing because you can use boats, planes,
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
I think that it just took everything and enhanced it and had a bunch of collaborations amongst like consoles, and you know, I think it improved on the level design and it had multiple paths, right? So at this point you can pick between using a boat or the plane, or you can pick between using the car and the boat, you know, so it was great to have that. And it also had that focus on racing again rather than the items. Even though the items were there and they were important, you have to use them skillfully. I'm gonna put it at S class. And also the music is fire, okay? Music is very important to me in these games if you haven't noticed. But the Sonic soundtrack always slaps. Always slaps. Sonic Generaciones. Sonic Generations. I've been playing this lately with mods. It gets an S for me. I remember when this came out and I was blown away. I bought this for the PS3, and even though the visuals look a little less better than what we would see in Unleashed, what Unleashed did right, this enhanced that and added a classic formula to it. And there's a lot of people who argue that the classic mechanics aren't as good as the original like Genesis classics, and it's not pinball-y enough for people. But honestly, I don't think that's what the intention was. I don't think it was supposed to be a one-to-one translation from classic Sonic in the Genesis version to this. But I absolutely like the level design for classic Sonic there. Later on, the levels get really hard, and I always prefer the modern levels in this game. But it retreads Sonic history, and it was a perfect anniversary title, especially for Sonic's 20th. You know what I mean? So we had all of that stuff. We had all the music that you can collect, all the collectible art, all the boss retreads for like between Shadow and Silver and Metal Sonic. You know, all those cutscenes, the animations, everything was it just oozes charm. If you guys have a PC, I would say download this one for PC and just get some mods on it too, just to improve the visuals a little bit. But this game holds up to this day. Honestly, I think it's one of the best titles that Sonic Team has ever put out. Sonic Spinball gets a C for me. I don't have much to say about Sonic Spinball. It's Sonic Pinball, but it has like a little bit of a platforming mechanic if you fall off the pinball stage. The music is all right. It's very Genesis-y, if you know what I mean. The bwah, it has that it has that type of vibe to it. But Sonic Spinball, you know, I wasn't big on this. I don't think I ever passed the first level. So I'm gonna give it a C though, because you know the sprite works nice and I think the concept is a good idea. So I'm gonna give it a C. Sonic Heroes. I'm going to give Sonic Heroes a B, and I might piss off some people doing that. But I think that the team gameplay was definitely a departure from what we knew, but it was a welcome departure. It was something fresh coming off of the Sonic Adventure series, you know, because since we could play as different characters in the Adventure series, you could kind of hop around and decide like, oh, well, I'm going to use Tails for shooting, and I'm going to use Knuckles for finding the emeralds. So this kind of combined, you know, that variety of gameplay and had you use it as a team. I think that's great. But there's a lot of repetition in this game, which is why I can't give it an A. I do love the return of Metal Sonic in this as the main villain, and the return of the Chaotix, because that was big too. And to see all the teams work together and the chemistry with the cutscenes and stuff, But when you get to the end of it, you realize that you played the same game 4 times in 4 different ways. It gets a little tedious, especially if you're going after the Chaos Emerald. So this is another one of those games that I don't think I actually got to. I think it took me a long time to get to the final boss. Like, I think that I just put it down for months and then I came back to it. But Sonic Heroes, if they did a sequel to this and enhanced these mechanics, or like a little bit of a spin-off or something like that, I'd be all for it. I think this kind of had something good going for it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tails' horrible voice actor in that game. Sonic Pinball Party. So I'm gonna give this a B. If you guys haven't watched my timeline, this is basically the prequel to Sonic Heroes, so go check that out. I have a pretty good theory there. But honestly, this was like a little mini game for the Game Boy Advance. You get to have like different Sonic boards. Now, it does not beat my opinion of Pokemon Pinball. I think that was a better pinball game overall from back in the day, but this does have decent boards. You can't really mess up pinball too much, right? And it's Sonic themed most of the time. There's a little story mode where you get to take on your kidnapped or brainwashed friends, which is pretty cool, seeing like Amy and Tails at red eyes like taunting Sonic on the other end. But and then you get some cameos from some pretty cool characters in there, like Knights and Amigo. So aside from that, there's not much to say about it. So I'm just gonna give it a B for what it is. It's a pinball game. It's mindless fun. Sonic Battle. I'm gonna give that a B as well. Sonic Battle had a lot going for it. Because I think that the one thing that brought it back was the limitations of the Game Boy Advance. They were trying to get this full force fighting game onto like the mechanics of a Game Boy, which was a little bit dated around the time where this was coming out. So you have like these 2D like backgrounds or these 3D, 2D looking backgrounds with these characters stuck on top. And the plot line is great. We're introduced to Emerald, and we get to see a little bit more of like a slice of life of the Sonic characters individually as Emerald hangs out with each of them. And I love seeing that, but what sucked was the battles. Like, you had to fight the same things over and over and over again. And that got very repetitious, even for a child like me, you know what I mean? When I was young and I played it, I was like in my early teens when I played it, I think preteens. And I was playing and I'm like, man, I gotta fight those guys again. And I didn't really understand like Emerald's whole copy mechanic yet at the time. But for the most part, I have a memorable experience with it for the story. And just, I like seeing Sonic characters in the wild just interacting with each other. I think that's where they shine. I think that's why I enjoy the comics so much. Just reading them and interacting with each other. We don't get a lot of that in the actual games these days. And that's why I have to critique some of these stories like Sonic Forces harshly, because we're not, people love the characters and we're not getting enough of them, you know what I mean? And enough interaction between them, like solid interaction that we'd see in games like Sonic Battle, for instance. But thumbs down for Amy in that game. She's an absolute nut, and I'm glad that they changed her personality outside of that. I think that was like the wake-up call for everybody at Sonic Team, like, no, we can't keep her like this. So so there it is, Sonic Battle. It gets a B for me. Never played the Sonic Drift games. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they were just racers for the Game Gear at the time. I'm gonna give them a B. I've heard like decent things about the soundtrack as well. I've heard some of the soundtracks, and it's just nice seeing Sonic in a car. It's cute. So I'll give those a B. I think they're solid Game Gear games based on what I've read, but I haven't played these. I haven't sought them out. I don't think I have any interest in playing them. Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. This is another game that I have not played, but based on what I've seen, it is better than Sonic Boom. People were saying that this is good. I remember this game was delayed a little bit because it was just too much. The release of Rise of Lyric basically set this game back. So the developers who were working on the 3DS version of this put extra time into it, and I heard that it plays a lot like a Sonic Rush game. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B for trying to work with new ideas. I know there was like an ice power and a fire power in there, and I think it expanded the Sonic Boom characterization a little bit better than Rise of Lyric. So they had more time to work on that. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna have to put it above. Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. I totally forgot about this version. I forgot about this version. So this released at the same time as Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I heard it was a little bit better than Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, and I'm probably mixing up Fire and Ice with Shattered Crystal. Fire and Ice definitely came second, right? So this is when they were really trying to get the franchise out there. But they delayed this one too because of the reception behind these two Sonic Boom games. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that up there. And Sonic Shattered Crystals gets a C, mainly because I heard it's better than Rise of Lyric, and I've heard better things about it. So I'm gonna just base that one on speculation. Don't take that one too personally if you like that game. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 gets an S class in my book. I think it is the best Genesis game for Sonic. Personally, there's a lot of people who say Sonic 2 versus Sonic 3, but this had more of my type of level design. There are quick levels that you can kind of speed through. Sonic has a refreshing sense of speed coming out of the first game, and I think that the music is better in Sonic 2 than Sonic 3. That's the controversial take of the video. But Sonic 2 is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time. It was one of the first games that I ever played, ever. So you can pretty much thank Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for having me here in the first place. But that gets an S in my ranking over here. You know what I mean? Level has something to bring to the table, especially Casino Night. Still a gorgeous level to this day, and honestly, I would turn this game on at any point and just play the crap out of it. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 definitely gets an S in my book. All right, moving on to Sonic Advance 3. I'm going to put it as an A class with the rest of them. The plot line occurs a little bit after Sonic Battle, so you're going to see like a lot of references to Emerald, who was rebuilt and is part of the villain force with Eggman on the other side. So you'll see your Sonic characters fighting against him, as well as, you know, some characters that you get to use in team mode. So Sonic and Tails, Sonic and Amy, but very solid platformer and some quality level design, quality level themes in there too, and some fire soundtracks. So I'm gonna give that an A. Sonic Adventure 2, I'm gonna give it an A. Oh my God, Mentok, you're canceled. You're not a real Sonic fan. Sonic Adventure 2, I think, is a very great game. I will play Sonic Adventure 2 any time of day. It's an amazing game. Introduced Shadow the Hedgehog. It has a badass plot, crazy soundtrack, and of course we got to try out different styles of gameplay again. It brought a lot to the table plot-wise, story-wise. I liked. But I have to say that after a few playthroughs, the only pieces that I like to really play are the Sonic and Shadow levels. And even some of them are a little bit too much, you know? For example, Crazy Gadget. Once I get to Crazy Gadget, it just really takes the wind out of my sails for a little bit. But it's slowing down and, doing processing puzzles as Sonic and stuff. Not to say that we've never had that before. We've had it in the classics with even Marble Zone in the first game. Puzzle solving. But I think Sonic Adventure 2 has like a weird gameplay style to Sonic. Like, it's not the best version of Sonic in the Sonic Adventure series. I'm going to give that to Sonic Adventure. And I'm going to put that S class. There's a lot of people who think that this game, it's outdated and it's badly aged and things like that. I think that's true to an extent. But I still play this game and I have no issues. I haven't had any bugs run into, and this is the original Dreamcast version I'm talking about. You guys have seen me play it a long time ago on stream. It is one of my favorite Sonic games, mainly because I feel like it hit the nail on the head of the theming from transitioning from the Genesis era to the 3D era. There was a little bit of rock and roll, but there was a little bit of synth and jazz, and I think it's one of the greatest Sonic soundtracks of all time. And then the themes, like the levels, you're in ice, you're in the casino, you're on a fiery mountain, you get to go to Eggman's base, and you get to experience different parts of those levels with different characters with different mechanics. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, hey Mentok, you get to play as shitty characters like Amy and Gamma, and isn't your argument Sonic Adventure 2 has too many gameplay styles? And I will concede, but I would say that Sonic has the best adventure formula in this game. I feel that he moves a lot faster and it feels a little bit more natural. It feels fulfilling to hit top speeds with Sonic in this game. In Sonic Adventure 2, it kind of feels like he struggles to get to that type of speed, and that's a little jarring to me sometimes. I think that Shadow, maybe it's an animation thing. I feel like Shadow looks like he does it a little bit better, but honestly, I think that this is the best Sonic Adventure game mechanic for the actual character. Sonic, the best Sonic supersonic appearance is at the end of this. I honestly think that we need an epic battle similar to this in a new Sonic game sometime soon. I mean, Supersonic versus Chaos. I think the final hazard fight in Sonic Adventure 2 is great, but Chaos is just like this god of water and destruction. It's amazing. Just seeing him in the ruins of Station Square, facing off against this tiny yellow hedgehog. Oh, come on, guys. S-class. I gotta gush. Sonic and the Black Knight. I'm gonna give this a B. I think that it is much better than Sonic and the Secret Rings. I think it delivered on the gameplay to an extent. I'm not saying the gameplay is perfect, but it has a much better delivery of the gameplay where it feels more like a Sonic platformer. You have the sword that you have to use, and you're gonna have to waggle the Wii remote to swing it. So that's another issue. It's a lot of motion control drama going on there. But the visuals are amazing. The story is one of the best in the franchise. If you have not watched the story, just go ahead and watch it. It won't take you long on YouTube. You'll see the best characterization and storytelling with Sonic and the Black Knight because it really goes with his personality. Sonic Colors, for me, gets an A. I feel like it was like a kind of a watered down version of Unleashed. So while it didn't have those fully realized 3D graphically amazing levels, Sonic Colors, I mean, I'm putting Ultimate aside and all the drama that came out of that. Sonic Colors is a great little platformer that it's super quick to go through, and I honestly played it a little bit less than Unleashed, but I enjoyed my time with it because it does bring the colors, and it's a nice little theme. The story is, you know, just simple. Like, we're stopping Eggman, who enslaved an entire alien planet, and we have to, you know, destroy this amusement park or whatever, but it has this charm to it with the Wisp power-ups and the focus on all these new game mechanics while enhancing that whole boost formula plus platforming. For the original Wii, I think it was one of my favorite games, and audio-wise, the soundtrack's amazing. It has one of my favorite tracks, or two of my favorite tracks in the Sonic series, Planet Wisp and Aquarium Park. Go check those out. All right, we're coming up to Sonic Dash. I'm gonna give this an A as well. Yeah, this has to sit right next to the first one. So I honestly argue that this game is better than the second one, but I'm gonna put them on par. For mobile games and what they've sought out to achieve, they achieved it. I think it's one of the most successful Sonic games of all time. And you can still download this on your smartphone, whether it's Apple or Android. Sonic Dash gets an A for me. And you get a bunch of like little events too with like boss battles to match the game. I don't know if they're still updating it to this day, but they definitely like announced that every time they reach another million download goal, they'll put it up there. Sonic Free Riders, absolute trash. Connect, trash. Trash, trash. I have nothing else to say about it. It's terrible. It's terrible. This is what killed Sonic Riders for me. I have no love for this game because I love Sonic Riders, but I hate that this killed it. It killed the series, man. So Free Riders can go fuck off. And finally, Sonic R. I am gonna put that at a B status. The soundtrack slaps to this day, but Sonic R, I've played a couple of times. The racing mechanics aren't that bad. I know I said earlier that Sonic doesn't move like a car, but this is the closest you're gonna get to that. It's very interesting seeing Sonic in a 3D world with that Saturn type of look. So Sonic R, I think is definitely worth a look. And I've seen some people actually modify the formula a little bit and make fan games out of it. So shout out to those people that actually take the charm of this and apply it to those fan games. So that, my children, is my Sonic Ultimate tier list. This is the definitive tier list. If you saw any other tier list online, I know you didn't see it on YouTube because this is the only one on YouTube. If you saw anything else like this, tell them that this is the right version of it, all right? But do you agree with this list? Like, let me know in the comments, or dislike the shit out of my video because I'm all wrong about these games. No, please, don't do that to me. Don't do it to me. But hey, soon, Mentok-tober approaches. There's gonna be a lot of big things in October this year, and you know I gotta pivot over to my horror content. I'll be streaming Metroid Dread on twitch.tv/TheMentok when that comes out. And aside from that, go check out all the social media goodies that I have in the description below. As always, my children, be safe. The Prophet has spoken.